go. All right, well, all join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Yeah, well, with that, I will call the Damariscotta Select Board meeting of Wednesday, June 26th to order. Right now, as acting chair, I'd ask the board if we can add a couple things to the agenda, maybe move a couple things around. So under official action items, I'd like to add a number 5 to elect board officers. And then we do have a recommendation for the Historical Preservation Review Commission for a member for that. It's okay with the board. We can add a number 6 on there. Okay, and then so we'll add those in, and then if we can, I'd like to move official action item 5 up to our first order of business. We get officer elections out of the way. Sure. We're all right with that. So we have 4 positions. We have a chair, we have a first vice chair, second vice chair, and secretary. Those 4 positions we need to fill. So if anybody has any motions.
I'll nominate Daryl for chair.
I'll second.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. I guess we keep plugging away. And
You do a good job, Daryl.
Good year to do it with all the construction.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? All right, I'm going to abstain from that vote. I'll make a motion, Josh Pinkham for first vice chair, sorry.
Second.
All right, thank you, Tom. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? All
I'll
right,
abstain.
Josh, you stuck with that one. Oh, all right, we have a second vice chair.
I'll make a motion. Tom was last year, correct?
First and second, yeah, he was last year.
We'll
Yep.
keep it the same.
All right, yeah, so I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Abstain.
Right, goes through, and then secretary?
We had Linda,
We have
right?
Linda, yeah, so I'll make a motion for Linda Latney to be secretary.
I'll second that.
All right, any objections, Linda?
No.
All right, yeah, all those in favor? Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate your confidence. I'll keep plugging away, I suppose, and
Yes, you will.
Done a great job.
let me know if you want to kick me out.
Oh, no.
All right, we'll move down through. So we have meetings minutes. We can start with those. May 15th, May 30th. Anybody have any changes, additions? May 15th and May 30th. Sure. Didn't have any.
And there's a June 5th.
June 5th.
Yeah, and then
There
June
was
5th, we can.
funny numbers in the June 5th one, but does it matter? Like the years were wrong.
Let's take a
Does it
look. Let's do May 15th first, then we can do them one at a time. I didn't see anything on May 15th.
think we're fine.
We're good on
May
May 15th.
15th looked fine.
Okay, I'll move minutes of May 15th then.
Second. Okay, we got it.
You guys fighting over it? I think
Okay,
Dan got
Dan got
that. Any discussion? Okay, all
No.
those in favor? All right.
Abstain, because I wasn't there.
Josh can abstain. May 30th, that was
Well, There was some, I was looking at the numbers. Like it's extended.
which was that
to-
on?
On page 8.
I think we're on page 6. Right?
We're on
Let's
page
do,
6.
yeah, let's do May 30th first and we'll move on to
Oh.
that one.
Do we have May 30th?
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
One page.
Oh, it was one page. Okay, I didn't see anything on
Yeah.
that.
This is an executive session basically, so yeah.
Yeah.
So the only thing on, I
Motion
noticed
to
on,
approve the May 30th minutes.
I've got an extra R in my name. That's the only thing on that one. I just noticed it now, so that's all right. Yeah,
Roll.
there's extra letters in there, so, yeah. I'll blame that on Andy though. That was it.
I did that one.
Yeah. It
Oh.
wasn't you, Linda. That was Andy. So,
I made a motion to approve the May 30th.
awesome. All right.
Yeah,
Yep. Here a second.
yeah, sure.
Andrew, seconds. Any discussion?
No.
I'll I'll abstain. It was.
Yeah, all right, all those in favor? All right, Dan's gonna abstain on that one. And then we have June 5th, and this is the one, Andrew, you said there were some numbers on there that, yeah, on page 8?
Eight, it says like extended to 220225.
Where are you?
Okay,
Oh.
eight.
Supposed to be 2025.
Should be 2025, right? And then up above it, it says to April
Oh,
202.
202, yeah, okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
how important
Few
is it?
typo. That's all right, we'll get them, yeah, those are easy fixes, so.
I'm Nolan. I'm gonna ask you, Jonathan. How you spell his name?
JOHNATHAN.
And what's his last name?
Oh, Riley.
Riley,
Yeah.
Riley.
Riley.
Yep.
Yeah. It's Raleigh.
We're on, so on the minutes for others present, Linda, for
June
Lincoln County
5th.
News, it's it was Jonathan Riley, so it's Nolan Wilkinson and Jonathan Riley.
Riley.
Yeah, JOHN ATHAN, and then Riley, REILLY.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so, okay. So a couple
But
corrections
we
there.
spelled Nolan's name right, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right.
Okay,
So we've got a couple corrections there. Yeah. Somebody want to move that one with the corrections?
I will move the minutes for June 5th,
Okay.
2024.
Thank you, Linda. I'll second. Any discussion? Okay, those in favor?
Yeah, I abstain.
Yep. We got 4 and Josh is abstaining, so.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to financials. So we have 2 payroll warrants.
Yeah,
Numbers 60 and 61. Everybody get a chance to go through those? Any
Mhm.
questions or anything?
I'll make a motion to approve 1661,
All right, thank you, Josh.
as long as I don't have a fire call.
There, Andrew, just a second.
yes,
Okay. Any discussion?
you have one.
Maybe.
All those in favor? Okay, that moves. And we have one accounts payable, number 62.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to approve 62 payroll.
All right, Tom moves that. Do I hear a second? All right, Dan's gonna second that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I have to
So
abstain.
moved, and Josh, you can abstain on that one as well.
Family member gets $67,
Nice.
you know,
Yes, I saw a name in there. Yeah,
$67.10.
I was gonna call you out on it if you,
Yeah, I knew
if you
you would.
voted on it, so.
Uh-huh.
Question, were there minutes for the 15th of June, those?
No, we only did the 5th, June 5th.
Okay, but
We
you
That
did-
was the last
We did
meeting.
May 15th, May 30th.
But you got those, right? The 15th of June meeting?
The town
Or was
meeting.
there one?
Becky takes the.
Oh,
minutes
for the
town
Oh,
meeting.
Becky.
Town clerk
did
does
that.
the minutes for the.
Right.
Yeah, the
town
town
meeting.
clerk did them.
Wasn't there a meeting after that?
No, we moved because the last week with Juneteenth, it,
I'm thinking of the planning board.
Oh.
yeah, no, you're fine. This was a little wonky. We stretched our meeting out and we're not having one next week and yeah, we messed with the calendar a little bit. So no, you're fine. You're fine. So all right. Any correspondence? Anybody on the big screen out there? No? Anybody in the audience out there? Hi, what's that? Yeah. You're just hanging out, see what happens? All right, good enough. We've got to have, we've got 2 audience members. This is. Andy, anything come in last minute that we should be aware of for correspondence?
Not that I'm remembering.
All right, we'll move on. Get manager's report and we can take a look at that. Go through some highlights anyway. Anything exciting happen?
Mostly a lot of emphasis on the parking lot project and
Yeah.
working with folks. Had another meeting Monday with the work group, or our first meeting with the work group. Had that, out of that, working on a survey for parking. To get more information from the business owners about what their actual needs are, which will be helpful beyond this project too.
I think we talked about this morning, that's going to be eye-opening, I think, for us to,
Mhm.
I've got one for the business down there and just to look at it and say what you actually
Mhm.
take up for parking and,
Right.
yeah, that's going to be interesting. So,
So how'd that meeting go?
Okay, I think, a lot of interest just to know what the, final solutions are, exact footprint of the parking, restrictions and, some of that. Not gonna know exactly, is it, 100 spots taken up or 101 spots taken up kind of thing. I mean, until they lay out and understand what they need, and we have to be flexible with that and just stress that it be as tight as possible. But we can't be in their way and restrict their ability to move along. They were not.
No. Okay.
So the questions that had arisen from the first stakeholder meeting, I had already sent off to them and got some feedback on those.
Did you get all the numbers back from, as far as the 2 periods of time and what the differences were?
Had five businesses supply that.
That's it.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of information back for that.
So it's kind of hard to go forward and ask for a change if we don't have the information.
It would have, yeah, we're at this point, we're not, but at the time we had asked for it, we
Yeah.
were needing it pretty quick.
Yeah. So we are
Moving forward.
moving forward. Croker's coming in 1st of September,
Mhm.
whatever the date is.
And so you think they're over the hump now? They're now into planning and figuring out how to deal with it?
The
group.
The group.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent some time talking about the communication, kind of strategy, if you will. There was some talk about, the possibility of some September, maybe some night events in September, possibly in working with the chamber around some of that stuff. If some of the retail operations wanted to stay open later, around an event, in October, of course, early October, you got the pumpkins hanging out there for the first week, the week after the holiday, which is a draw. People love to come out for that in the evening when there's not thousands of people walking on the weekend. So
Was that offered up by some of the business people?
it was.
Yeah, good. They're starting to get,
That's
On
great.
board.
Yeah, no, it's good. There's a lot that can happen. So get a group like that together and start thinking, yeah, so. Good.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of energy there. We're just wrapping up the fiscal year with kind of some purchases on the end of the season here, this fiscal year. Public Works, we have a backhoe scheduled to arrive July 8th. We'll have that for a month. Chip away again at some drainage issues we have. And then reserving kind of August for whatever we might need to do to work with preparing for the construction project. I didn't want to lock us in for a full month knowing that we'd be in August and needing to do some things
Mhm.
with that, but we can pick up, maybe by the week if we need to in the fall, or we can always sub out some things if we need to do that. So we'll make use of it while we have it like we did last year.
They're getting a lot done though, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of chipping this year, this spring.
What happened on the bridge that caused that big hole?
I don't know for certain. DOT came out pretty quick after that got sent to them. The police chief had called me and I reached out to the Edgecombe foreman, I guess, and she was able to get a crew in pretty quick. My guess is it had to do with probably some erosion from high waters, because that was
The
pretty
pocket
close
in
to the
there.
bridge abutment right there.
Yeah.
It happened. There was some settling there. There's some settling there this winter, I think it was early spring, I believe.
There's a previous cut there, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something there, avoid before anyway, and it's, yeah.
I think that close to the river, that close to the bridge. I'm assuming it has something to do with kind of getting up behind there. I don't know for certain.
It's pretty significant.
It was.
Oh, there.
It's like, oh my word.
I didn't notice today if they had come back to patch yet, but
Pat.
They
it was
had,
patched. Okay.
Yeah.
because they closed down there was one-way traffic on the
Mhm.
bridge for a while DOT was in there.
Oh, gotcha.
But it
well,
was
that
a
was-
terrible bump before they did it.
Yes.
Yeah, I had some people call yesterday.
Yeah, but they got out and
But they responded pretty quickly, said to that. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think Chief called
Okay.
around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I think they were on site there doing that. I mean, it took till about noon or 12:30, I think, but
Yeah.
Saturday when no one was scheduled to work, that was pretty
I
good.
was gonna say, yeah, weekend,
exactly.
state.
Yeah.
Did pretty well.
I'd offered if we had some steel plates, we could have just put a steel plate out, but we don't have one as of yet. So something I'd have Jonathan looking into to see if we can
To have extra ones on.
get one or two on hand, because we've got the same challenge sometimes on our road, or if we're cutting a culvert open, we might be good to span the center lane, the center line, potentially. So
Yeah,
be good to have one or two on hand.
we should probably.
Other than that, keeping some of those capital projects on your radar, and we can talk more about
Yeah.
Miles Street and their proposal to see if the board wants to move forward with that. With Keen Woods, my understanding is GSB is planning to put that out to bid soon. There's a notice in the paper that they're planning to do a project. Their engineers are working on the design of where the water layout's going to be for that division. I'm proposing that we follow that up with some drainage and paving if the board's open to the idea. Either way, we got to start with some engineering and get someone to help with bid specs so it can go out to bid. There's probably going to be some drainage easements needed out through there.
Something needs to be done.
Yeah, the reality of how the road was built,
Yeah.
the road surface relative to the depth of the ditch that is there, is the water's not really able to be as far below the road as you want it to
Kind of
be.
melded together now. Road and ditch are kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's going to be a little involved. Some of the culverts we have set there are only 4 or 6 inches below the road surface.
Right, yeah.
That's not good. So I think it's a little bit more than it should be for what the road is, but we have to try and make the fixes. If we can invest in it now, then
It's just gonna get worse.
we should be able to get by with some overlays, pretty simple treatments after this, but we're at a point now where you've really got to make an investment.
How
So
many houses do we have in there?
15 or so, I think.
Yeah, it's good to feel.
Yeah, it's probably about
But it's pretty,
15.
yeah, if you guys get a chance, go make that loop.
that-
And
make
It's
that
been
loop.
years since I've been through there. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, it's
It's bad.
It's a mess.
kind of tucked away a little bit out of
Mhm.
sight, out of mind. And it's it's degraded pretty considerably. So,
When did we put it in?
so God, how
It was
long is
built
that?
in the subdivision was approved, I think, and filed in the 80s, I believe, but
Oh, so the road is,
I don't know what it started out as in terms of road standards.
Sure, the material that they put the road in with is not that good.
Yeah.
if it was put in 40 years ago, right?
I don't know the last time it was paved. It probably pushing 20 years, I'm guessing.
Probably it has to be. Yeah, been a while. No. No, it needs some attention. So, agree on that.
And again, the beauty of you build it right, it's the volume of traffic on that road and the size of it. It should last you a long time with just some, you could probably get away with like an LCP type treatment on that every 10 years for a while.
Good.
You have to build it right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we gotta start looking into it, Andy, especially with GSP going out for water line installation. It would be rather foolish of us not to piggyback something.
Yeah, I'm hopeful if we can get it lined up right, that, it might be worth seeing if we could package it with them like
Yeah.
we did with
Mhm.
Mile Street and see if
Exactly.
it becomes a little more substantial and a more attractive
Mm.
project maybe and help. They're gonna have to patch stuff in anyways if
Mhm.
we don't do anything. So it just makes it a little bit more
Yeah.
attractive for the
Makes
company
more sense,
bidding.
more efficient, so,
Yeah,
okay. Great.
unlike what they did on Glidden Street, they went back in like a year later and
Yeah, it happens a lot of
That's-
projects,
Yeah.
you try to coordinate stuff and
Not
it
a
just
good
doesn't
thing.
play out. Yeah, so, all right.
yeah, we do have to be proactive.
I don't know if you want to take up a couple for the next meeting I have on, Thursday, tomorrow. We're open all day today. Tomorrow's the last day of the fiscal year that we're typically open. So they'll be here working to get the closeout. It usually takes, the better part of the morning for the trio closeout to happen, and then Cheryl usually takes another 3 or 4 hours to be able to do her part. Didn't want her have to come in on the Friday to try and do that. So I figured, typical. I saw Booth Bay Harbor closes all day. A couple of the other ones do it. If we run into issues, we got to have time to be able to troubleshoot that with the trio staff. I think that they extend their hours 1 or 2 hours that day for all the towns that are fiscal year to do that. That's what we're doing for tomorrow. The next meetings, I don't know if you want to keep it on the 3rd. First and third, the first meeting would be July 3rd.
Did
Just
we
next
say
week.
we were gonna
I
change?
did forget when I was gonna, unofficial action items, one of the things we were gonna do is set our meeting schedule, so we can do that now if you.
I thought we had already agreed to change it to the 10th.
Yes, our next meeting it wasn't gonna be before, right, because
not
we
gonna
were
be on the
meeting
3rd.
today and we wouldn't be meeting next week. We're gonna meet on the,
Okay.
on the 10th, but we do need to
Right.
officially set the time and date
Oh,
and
okay.
place of
Okay.
our meetings going forward. So apologies, I forgot to add that in. So if it,
Amy has it. Oh, yeah.
yeah, well, no, we need to do it officially when, for the new year, fiscal year. No, so can I sneak in another, thing on there? So, sorry.
Maybe.
I'd like to make a motion to set the select board's meetings for the first and third Tuesdays of the month.
Wednesdays.
Wednesday, sorry.
Fire
Yeah.
truck.
Jeez.
Yeah, no.
Don't mind me. Sure want me to chair here. First and third Wednesday of the month at 5:30 at the town office.
Second.
Get that right? Okay. Yep. Tom's gonna second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? All right, thank you.
Now we had approved. Now you gotta go change it.
Now we gotta go change it. So, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, what Andy was referring to is we had a change because of the Juneteenth holiday. We pushed this meeting out. And then that would put us, the first one would be next Tuesday, Wednesday, which would be really close to this meeting. So that's, I think we had talked about moving it to July 10th and then the 24th.
Yeah.
If that's all right with everybody.
Yeah.
10th and 24th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't be able to make
You,
it.
yeah, I'm not asking you.
We're used to that.
Oh,
Doc.
I could have made it in third.
Maybe. So yes, that schedule
Okay.
works for the board, so we'll call it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, awesome. Okay, yeah, I'd like to say that I see the public works crew has been seen all over the place and filling potholes, and they're going mowing and cleaning up, and so it's
Getting branches.
yeah, getting branches. So they're very active. So it's good to see. It's a lot of little stuff to do in this town. So in between the big stuff, though.
And
Yeah.
on Route 1, they're doing a lot of branch work.
They have been, yeah.
That's they're doing very well at
Yeah.
traffic.
State's been doing some work out there and.
Oh, the
cutting back.
shoulder and cutting.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people do trafficking better than others. I came through Searsport and they're doing a great job of trafficking, putting in their new sidewalks.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got it rerouted, right?
Yeah,
They've
they
got
do
through the back.
6-mile detour on the southbound.
Yeah, they've got a
Yeah.
change in direction.
But
one
just
way.
a
Yeah.
lot of it is still 2-lane, even though
Yeah.
they're keeping that traffic moving.
Yeah, good. Yeah. It's nice. That's a busy area up through there. So, in a narrow road. So, all right. Any questions or any comments on manager report? We good?
I was just curious, I know in one of the other minutes, they talked about, we put out one ad for a new police officer. Anybody, any
Police,
interest, I guess?
a police sergeant, yeah, I think you said he'd had one applicant,
One,
Yeah.
okay,
so moving forward with the process on that. And see how that plays out.
Okay.
He's got, I think, a citizen like review board, a panel, I think Friday for that.
oh, okay.
That was kind of the first review of the application, make sure they have
It's
the
application,
qualifications,
yeah.
but wanted to put, there's like 5 or 6 citizens that Jason pulled together, chief pulled together to bring in to, ask a series of questions that he'd had. And then he had planned to have another kind of interview, if you will, with me and him and 1 or 2 board members if desired. He hasn't set a date for that one yet, but I imagine it'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Is the ad still active, right? Is he still advertising? Or did
I
they
don't
get
believe so.
pulled? Okay.
So what's this person's experience or background?
I don't know.
You don't, oh, okay. How's
There's
that?
not, we shouldn't really
Right.
talk about
We
it.
can't, yeah. Yeah. With the review board and then go through that and stuff, yeah. All right, well, we can move right along here. We do have some official action items. We have a liquor license renewal for Maine Boats. Anybody get a chance to look that over and?
Yeah.
Yep. And, so any
So
questions?
this is just a renewal for these guys?
Renewal,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
seemed fine.
Pretty straightforward, so. I'll make a motion to renew liquor license for Maine Boats.
Second.
Andrew seconds. Any discussion? Those in favor? Okay. Nobody's hear from them, but you can reach out to Mandy and let them know when they can get the renewal or whatever.
Yes.
They're probably out on the water.
Yeah, they're probably working. So that's why
Yeah.
I would have moved it up in the agenda, but nobody was here. So, yeah, so that's fine. So
I was out there yesterday. It was lovely.
it's been very nice. So website upgrade,
Yes.
the big one.
Yeah.
There's a big
Uh,
packet.
It is.
Andy, yes, this is
Um,
huge.
Did anybody get a chance to go onto some of the links and look at some of the other
Yep.
did.
towns? Yeah,
Yep.
they look better than ours?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
They look a lot
Yes.
better than ours.
It wasn't-
I think
I-
almost
I was
anything
unimpressed
looks
with
better than
Brunswick, but
ours.
Some of the others are like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw Bristol. I saw Bristol. Then I clicked on that. Wrong state. Oh, yeah. All right, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, this started back last November, I think, roughly when the company had called I hadn't heard of
Yeah.
before. And they got more time from me than they would have because they started out very casually about basketball, and I was like, "What? How can I help you?" Oh,
Pulled
okay.
you in, didn't they?
So quickly it was kind of noticed that it wasn't that site platform that they were trying to sell wasn't, it was less than what we have today.
Mhm.
And this is the company we currently utilize. System, as I state in there, I think back then, they run on a Drupal 7 platform. They're gonna go to Drupal 10 because that's not supported anymore. They would love to see clients move up into their standard suite of services, which again provides the customers, the public more viewing. It's better on the back end for management and putting stuff up on there. Does come at a cost. They're willing to, with the modules we've talked about and the fact that they'd have to incur a cost by helping us upgrade to 10, that they're able to kind of move some numbers around and try and make this an attractive package for towns to do this. With an emphasis on really trying to make it easier to communicate with the public and find things on our website.
Yes,
This will give us that opportunity to
it is.
fix it. There's a lot offered that we don't currently have on our site now. The add-on modules that we're proposing or suggesting, a C-Click Fix app. You can go through the website or you can download an app and report it through the app. So a lot of what this is offering now too is, again, a lot of app-driven things these days, and our website would be looking more like an app for people that want that.
And that's the one for road.
So yeah, the C-Click Fix is
Road
a big
complaints.
selling point is to really, for people to make, kind of, I'll say just complaints, but if there's defects or issues with the roads, that's what we see a lot of in paper form. They have to come to the office and fill it out, or they can
Mhm.
send.
So how would the
email.
app work for like a citizen? Do they have to download
Yep.
it or so?
Yeah, and then it just becomes
Does
easier,
cost anything, right?
but not for them, no.
Not for them,
Right,
but
we-
for-
we're-
I mean, obviously it
yeah.
does for us, but.
Yeah, we
not for
pay to
them.
have it available. We build it out. They
Yeah.
build it out for us. It has like a geotag, like a location, so we can see it on the other end. It's very clear for us where the issue is, as long as they put it in that way. And then it allows us to kind of track, follow up, and we close it out, how long it took to close it out.
And does the app also allow people to sort of that to be their primary way of sort of interacting with the town electronically?
I mean,
Or
I
do
think,
they always have to go to the website?
I think narrowly, like for just like those types of
Reporting things.
reports, yeah. But I mean, generally, if you want to get to the town's website, you
Okay.
just do it through a separate, I believe they're kind of separate.
Yeah, that's an add-on. You say that app's an add-on for the reporting. Yeah.
The other one is the add-on service there to make us ADA compliant. Giving viewers the ability to change how the site looks, whether you've got the visual contrast, if you're colorblind, the size of the text that's on the screen, it just becomes a lot easier. Another feature that is really important for us is if we are putting things up there that aren't compliant, either in their design or text, like it'll flag it and correct it. And then there's an audit of that correction. And so what you maybe you're not seeing, like, there's been companies out there that have been sued successfully for not making these compliance
Not having
standards
compliant,
happen. I'm not aware that there's a directive and a requirement per se for us, but it's strongly recommended by the DOJ that we do put all this into place. If it's not there, it'll be there in short order, I imagine, and it should just be done.
Mhm.
And so it does come at another cost, but again, it's another continuing to make sure people have access to the information. And then the last one that we put in there for your consideration is this ability for like mass notification. I know the county has the code red and they can send it out for EMA type related issues. And we have the ability to, utilize that to some degree. This would be our own system that allows us to do mass notifications via text message. You have options to be able to send it out if people sign up to get them, or you can send it out like through a geocode basically and hit a zip code, and everyone in the zip code kind of gets it. And so my hope is that there's a chance this could be up and running before September.
Wow,
We might be able to utilize it around that construction project.
that'd be
Um,
great.
That'd be great.
I'm hoping that, 'cause it's a relatively short, it's a much shorter timeline than the website, and it's a standalone piece, so it's possible that we can get that going. I'd love to have that.
We've had people ask for test message, texting alerts and things like that. That's something
Mhm.
people are asking for and use it a lot more than email or Facebook updates and whatnot.
Yeah, and in the whatever it's worth category, it came up in the comprehensive plan discussions too.
Mhm.
It's just that
Oh.
people are frustrated with
Mm,
Yes.
how the town's website looks and sort of the inability to communicate sort of seamlessly. Because everybody wants to communicate through these things.
Yeah, no, this is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they've done a great, over the years, the last time we built this out with them, I think we must be on year 6 or 7 now with them, probably with what we've had. And they've acquired more companies over that time frame to kind of build out their suite of services, and they learn from clients like us, and not the first one doing this. So
Yeah.
it's nice that they have that. They're very responsive for our needs. So I'd feel comfortable with suggesting we consider this. It's a substantial increase in cost from what we're doing now, but that just isn't an option anymore with the way that system is out of date and not
It's out of
supported.
date
Mhm.
in many ways. Yeah. Software
I'm
and
just curious in terms of how they do pricing. Is it based upon the size of the town, or is it sort of like small, medium, large kind of thing?
I think it's a part of the factor. I think most of it's driven by like the amount of content you have.
Okay.
And so, maybe more generally, the bigger the community you are, the more you have going on. When they looked at the conversion and being able to bring stuff in, that one of the things they looked at, I think that was for, I think it was in the meeting minutes, maybe they were asking how many, committees or boards do you have? How many meetings are there? And that was so, it was more about our activity and content on the website, because that drives how long it's going to take them to build it out. So there's the initial build fee, which the reason this is structured as a 3-year contract is that initial build fee is about $15,000. And they're able to spread that cost over 3 years by us agreeing to this, and thought that was a more manageable bite. And then included in the annual fee of about $15,000 a year is as well. On year 4, we'd be getting a refreshed site. So you're not waiting too long. It's just built into the price. It's not an additional cost. And then it, in this case, would also come with the upgrade from standard to premium.
What's the cost now?
Annually, the cost is $2,300.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Have you talked to other towns that they use this?
I have, yeah. Rockland had they noted on here, Rockland just
Yeah.
started using the report, the C-click fix, or sorry, mass notification, and talked to Tom briefly about that. And he was really excited about that feature being launched. And I got other colleagues that I know that have been using them and have been happy with what they've been able to offer and provide. And for some places, it's as much as, kind of like us. I mean, we're willing to buy into these extra things now, because frankly, the websites get kind of forgotten. We build them and we put the minutes up there, and we sometimes forget about it. And it is,
they do. They get stale and they just,
very useful tool to make sure we keep current for people. I mean, we've got many minutes that we need to get
Absolutely.
updated and put on there,
Yeah.
which we're working on. So it's an investment, but I think hopefully, with the pieces we'll be getting out of it, it's also going to be a useful tool for people to be more engaged, hopefully, and as long as we're doing our
Yeah.
part.
yeah.
And hopefully it will help us with the comp plan too.
Sounds good to me. And we've had, and we put funds aside.
We did budget 15,000,
Mhm.
and I had this ballpark number last year when we were going into the budget. This year when we were going to the budget
Yeah.
meetings, and so I was using it as, at the very least, as a number to kind of work around, and whether it was this company or another. But the way they've been working with us on this, we started out at 21,000 a year. With that split, that equal cost over 3 years, and then that first year they've been able to pull down to the 14,999.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Through the bundled discounts and there was some other first,
This, all
How
the
we
smooth
did that.
talking there, yeah.
the salesperson I've been working with has gone back to his manager or boss, I don't know, 3 or 4 times at this point. I mean, this price was held from December when we talked back then. That was kind of
Right.
the next big one,
Yeah,
first
that was a
big
while
one
ago.
for him,
Yeah.
was to hold that. And then he's again able to drop it down based on
Gotta
the
hurry up
bundle.
and approve it.
And so, if approved, either way, I'll be talking with him tomorrow, and he's eager to see if it'll be approved. And then we'll be able to start working. It's about a 6-month timeline to get the website up and running. So we're aiming for January of 2025 for that to be
Get everything built out and.
ready to go for folks.
Yeah.
But the mobile app for the residences can go ahead.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
That's a standalone feature that I'm hoping we can push them on. I think that was like a 60 to 90 day
For the communication
I
app. that I
think,
suggested.
time on that, but I'm hopeful that
Okay.
we can move that right
Communicator
along.
Unlimited. Yeah, it's important stuff.
So they're going to host this, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I know that others have had problems with security issues, other municipalities.
Related to their websites.
Yeah, you hear about, all of these sort of schemes where, people come in and basically lock their sites down and then
Oh,
Hold them, yeah, they can hold you
Yeah,
for
that-
ransom there and, yeah.
that I know can happen when some folks are really quick on the renewal of websites, the domains.
Mhm.
And so you buy a domain, your website address for X amount of years, and there's some people out there that sit on those, and on the first hour that it's lapsed, they find it and jump on it, and then
Yeah.
you're kind of stuck. You're pointing people to a site that now someone else owns, and they can put what they want on there in the meantime. And
But I noticed they handle the domain registrations as well, or at least they hold it. I read that.
it makes it a lot easier that way. I mean, safer that way. If
Mhm.
But in terms of ransomware, have any municipalities or communities that use this software had issues?
Not that I've heard. A lot of the ransomware kind of attacks come in just through our regular emails, unsuspectingly. The big thing right now with fraud that's happening, for kind of going down this rabbit hole, people are able to track when we have an RFP out. And then they're pretty quick to just they know when we accept the bids, they know that there's a timeline to do a contract, and they're following that through public meetings. Well, then you get an email, your treasurer or whoever's handling the accounts payable gets an email saying, hey, here's our account. They're really good at masking they get a letterhead from the company that's been awarded because it's in a public document.
Oh, yeah.
And they're really good about getting in there. And so that's happened. I don't have any examples off the top of my head in Maine, but my colleagues have talked about it. I know there's been a couple in the state that have gotten hosed for a few $1,000s.
Oh, geez, yeah.
On
On
the
the
low
guise
end.
of the contractor.
So yeah, there's a lot of angles that now with the IT security stuff that people are able to kind of come at us. ACH is another one we get a lot of requests for, and we don't pay, other than the state, we don't pay any vendors with ACH. It all comes through this, check processing and approval for the board, and
Mhm.
and there's features through the banks now too that they can do like positive pay, where we upload the warrant to them. And so on their end, they're also seeing who it's made out to, exactly the amount of money. The ability is now for people to get those checks and whitewash and add things that aren't meant for them. The bank doesn't know who it's supposed to be made to, but they've got a live check from us now. And people, so yeah, there's unfortunately, a lot of ways out there people are able to.
Yeah. Get a lot of DocuSign stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Your DocuSign's ready. Contract. Okay. Yeah, any other questions, comments? I think it's
No, I think it looks good, Andy. You've done the research.
something folks are asking for, and it seems like a
Definitely.
big jump in expense, but it definitely seems necessary. So
Does it say that Brunswick has it
Yep.
Yep, Brunswick.
and
Yeah,
Waterville?
Waterville, Brunswick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even
And
VC.
Auckland's got a similar one, yeah, so. Well, I can make a motion to authorize the town manager to execute the website upgrade with Civic Plus as presented.
Second.
Seconds, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor? All right, let's get to it, get that thing upgraded.
I agree.
Nice.
Thank you.
Controversial warrant.
Okay, a special town meeting warrant, so we had a little snafu there.
That was embarrassing.
Well, we're human, right? Yeah, so.
All of us missed it.
Everybody did, I say, Andy, thank you for trying to fall on the sword for everybody, but that went through many, many hands.
It did,
Yeah.
including the budget committee.
And we did it. We've seen multiple pages and just, yeah, you get blinded sometimes with this stuff coming through. So, and that was, right here. Which warrant article was that? That was
25.
34.
24 or 25?
Regarding,
Oh,
Yeah, oh, two, right?
Two.
Well, yeah, it'll be.
Oh, but this, yes, it was
Yeah,
originally,
At
but
town
this is the
meeting, it
new,
was like Article 30.
yeah, this is a new warrant. So we had, yeah, inadvertently, we had the wrong fiscal year
Yes.
and the wrong amount. So we had we doubled down on that one. So, yeah, and that was, pointed out, thankfully, there were several people in the audience that caught that and brought to their attention. So it was, that was good. Thank him.
We would have been in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, thank him for that. So, so we need to put this back out for a special town meeting. So, the proposal is to, yeah, call for special town meeting on the 10th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if approved, we'd have the time we need to get that posted. If we were gonna meet next week, we wouldn't have, but
Right.
7-day notice to get that
So
posted.
we can just do it before our board meeting next time we meet.
That's the proposal.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you just need, yeah.
We need to make a
you need
motion.
To make a motion for the warrant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Special town meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the warrant for a special town meeting for Wednesday, the 10th of July, 5:30 at the town office. Second, or Articles 1, Articles 2.
Yes.
All right, Andrea seconded. Okay, any discussion on that? All those in favor? Okay, let's see if we can get some folks in to get that one moved correctly. All right. Let's see, moving right along. We have, all right, yeah, Miles Street, right? Second phase?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that project's still outstanding. It'd be nice to get that going and finish that off and be kind of settled with that
Oh,
area
yes.
there.
Yeah.
The people there are asking, when are we gonna do it? When are we gonna do it?
There's, we'd revisit some engineering on it. Are we good?
We will, so the as-built, the fee proposed for Gartley and Dorsey, I'm making an assumption that it's most efficient to work with them because they've already designed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
We didn't have as a cost approved previously for the first phase for them to finish out with a as-built, so there'll be a small fee and some time to send out to do this. They did
as-built.
extend, with some of the change orders, they did extend some of those water line and there was
Mhm.
something to do with the basin that it was shifted a little bit to
Some
accommodate the
extra
water line.
culvert that needed to go in on the side and.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to capture, we need to capture those changes and those additional footages, so it's very clear when they put the bid out, you know exactly how much feet you're bidding on for pipe and
yeah,
and then, so they think it would probably be about 3 months in total for them to get out, survey and do the finalized drawings and get us ready for an RFP to go out. So we'd be looking at fall to put it out to bid, which is a good time to do it for spring work.
Okay.
It works for the hospital. They've got their funding available. We have a bit of a teaser with the dollar amount because, when we were doing phase 1, we had talked about this phase and the numbers came back just too high and we couldn't do it. So, we're kind of assuming, it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. So I feel comfortable with the outlay we will have. Brooks was going to confirm there was some private donations you might recall for that
For the
section of
sidewalk.
sidewalk.
Mhm.
So he's confirming that that's still committed and will be available. Their water line work they're ready for. And that leaves us with about a $75,000 balance, using those old numbers. So we've got the reserve funds we would need if it's in that ballpark to do that. So I feel comfortable saying we should consider going forward with that.
I agree. We need to just finish it up.
Yeah.
Move on.
and funding, we're good right now on our side of the funding and stuff from,
Like I said, if it comes back in the ballpark with those numbers we saw before,
yeah,
we'll be fine.
a good position.
So
So,
it's always until it goes out and comes back,
all right,
you don't quite know.
okay. We need to waive bid procedure on that to,
No, it's on the 15.
oh, yeah, it's under 15, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, not the rest, yeah.
And the hospital will share in that cost.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Right, yeah, just split up, so. Cool, well, I'll move that one. I'll authorize, make a motion to authorize, town manager to execute a service contract with Gartley and Dorsey for phase 2 of Mile Street, and the same motion authorized up to $7,500 from the highway operating budget for design bid services. That work?
Mhm.
12 seconds.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to get that finished out on it.
Yes.
So close. Okay, so we did 5. We do have an add-on here for recommendation for the Historic Preservation Review Commission. Yeah. She's sitting out in the audience out there.
Yeah.
Make you wait till last, Lisette.
Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yep, so with an open position there, there's been recommendation from town planner for Lisette Griffin as a member for the Historic Preservation Review Commission. I think.
Sure, it's
Is it?
Fill that
No objection?
vacancy.
All right,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So anybody want to grab that motion? Make this up?
Do you want to say
We're all
anything on your
fighting
behalf?
Have you, do you have a speech
your
prepared to
PowerPoint?
convince us, Lisette? Yeah.
PowerPoint?
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Lisette Griffin to the, what is this called?
Historical preservation.
HBRC, yeah, historical, doesn't roll off the tongue easily, but
Yeah, the Historic Preservation Review Commission.
awesome. Did I hear a second already?
Second.
And Andrew seconded, okay. All right, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? All right. All right, Lisette, you're on a commission now.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Awesome, all right, and I think that's it for sneak anything else in official action items, we good there?
No, we did the election.
Yeah, we did all that, got the date set, so we're good.
Mhm.
All right, let's move into some discussion items that it is laid out for us. So the winter maintenance RFP
It's advertised.
advertised.
Mhm.
Be in the paper this week. It's on MMA. It's on our website. I know it's been shared with a few contractors that have expressed interest in the last few months directly. So
And the lawyer has looked it over and okayed it.
she did, yeah.
We had legal reviewed it and yeah, it went through.
Yeah, the only thing that was substantially modified since you had last seen it was the pieces she was gonna put in about the breach and termination of contract and should it have to go there that, she's feel comfortable,
Yeah.
working with, where she's reviewed it. She didn't review it, the last one until we were in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Felt good with that. Put it on there in case anyone has seen it, has any questions, anything that does need to be modified, we still have time. The bids will be due back July 22nd. The idea would be that I'd include that in 22nd, include that in that July meeting.
Gotcha.
Come back that
Perfect.
Monday and I'll just provide the bid results for you. If you wanted to consider those that Wednesday,
Okay.
decide then, but see what comes in.
All right.
The kind of a pre-bid conference is an optional thing for folks if they want to attend that. Is on the 8th of July in the morning,
Oh, okay.
8:30.
Yep.
Or 8 o'clock, sorry. Yeah, does anyone have any questions on that?
No, good to see it out there and moving along and there's been some interest in it. So, yeah.
That's great.
Great.
Good.
The salt prices that came back through the state bid, the state as a delivered price. I think Morton Salt had gotten the bid on both them and the GP cog. There was a price difference between those two bids that had gone out. Got the state and GP cog. We put in for both. The state's bid was 75 cents more than GP cog's results that they got back. The big difference there is the state bid, we were obligated to the number we put in and we were able to get up to 25% more than what we committed to. GP cog, I put in for 250 more tons. I put in for 1,000 tons with them and 750 with the state. GP cog's bid terms were, those numbers were there for estimating purposes. Basically, we aren't obligated to the 1,000 and it was a little bit cheaper. The delivery time's about the same, frankly, from Searsport or from Portland, or Westbrook, I think it is. And so I reached out to GP cog or followed up on that bid to go forward with that number. It was 75.63, I think it was the number that came in from them per ton. I think that last year, I think we were 79. The year before that was 82.50, I believe.
Oh, so that's good.
Just coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
Something's going down. That's.
That's a miracle.
So buying it direct, we just call in advance. And I think the terms are theirs. It needs to be delivered from the time we call. I think it's within 3 days. I think it needs to be delivered. Might be less. And so we'll see how that goes. Whereas before it was always handled by the contractor. We'll
Yeah.
try and keep up on it and
A little more coordination, but
Yep.
yeah, some cost savings. Okay. Good. Moving along, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get some updates on the personnel policy.
Oh, yes. First draft, I do have, shared it with one of the staff members the other day, a couple
Mhm.
parts of it, so it's still kind of going through it, but
Yeah,
Okay.
just want to get it on your radar. There's just, if there's anything that you've seen in there in the past, questions on or whatnot, but I want a couple of, the staff to kind of look through it as well. Just making sure, it's been a while since I think we've done a major look at it.
yeah,
There's some pieces in there that just, I don't think have really ever been utilized. I think there's the leave time bank that was that language that's in there. That's not really utilized. Am suggesting, something different for that. The consideration of like a leave bank, personal one, but it would be, kind of limited to the FMLA type leave.
Mhm.
With the state mandating that there's paid family medical leave, it's not at the full value.
right.
And I don't know if this, I'd like to find out if we put something like this in place, if an employee had the 12 weeks available to them, and it's at 100% pay, does that mean we don't have to contribute the 0.5% or the 1% to the state fund?
Oh.
Okay.
Probably would only,
Okay.
might not work only because we're not proposing putting in 12 weeks, they have to earn and build up to that.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think the way we have the policy now is that you get to the end of the fiscal year, anything beyond 80 hours that's on the books that you've earned, you can only carry 80 forward. And so you kind of get stuck in a use it or lose it kind of thing. And there's certain times of the year where some staff, and I have them working on kind of their own calendars, if you will, for the year to understand who's got time when do you have major commitments? Elections is a big one, audit's a big one, budget.
Yeah,
That were people, certain people can't take time off certain times of the year. So trying to understand better how that works in a lot of ways, because of the comp plan coming into play, like how do we work towards getting all that and trying to view time as the limited resource instead of the budget and dollars of it. So we know how we can be more efficient and pull people in on different projects when it works. So I think about that, and then, that time off piece, and, don't want people
Mhm.
feeling like they can't use what they've earned.
Right.
Because we put a lot on them. I'm not saying, that's how they're feeling, but I just don't want anyone kind of, you work for us for long enough and you get a good amount of time off, and
I know,
I don't want them feeling like they can't use it.
right.
Yeah.
But if you work here long enough, you hardly have to come to work anymore.
Plenty of time.
I'm sure some of them have quite a bit of.
Just a question
Have a cute
on
accrued.
page 10,
Mhm.
under C, second paragraph,
Mhm.
last line. Says, an employee may transfer any used time to their short-term disability reserve. I think that's, I mean, unused, huh?
Yeah.
Unused.
Hoping to have
Dress,
something.
the dress code was an interesting one, considering how we
Oh, yeah.
have clothes
I had a
nowadays.
suggestion on that too. The way it reads, unacceptable dress includes but not limited to holes in clothing, sweatshirts, faded jeans. I read that as holes in sweatshirts, holes in faded jeans. I would suggest after clothing, the wearing of sweatshirts, faded jeans, visible undergarments. Because it looks like you're talking about holes in all the things.
Well, in today's world, they pay
Well, you're a
for
teacher.
holes in their clothes.
Well, yeah.
It's fashionable.
It is,
Yeah,
right?
well, more holes, the more expensive it is.
$100 to have a pair of pants with holes in them. Just saying, right?
You know where
That's
we are
fashion.
on page 5, under dress.
Yeah, I get you, Tom, on 5 there with the.
Yeah, I would just say, after clothing, the wearing of. It could be holes in clothing and then the wearing of.
Mhm.
sweatshirts,
Yeah,
faded
just,
jeans.
yeah, because you could interpret it, holes in clothing, sweatshirts, faded jeans, visible undergarments. Yeah. So,
Not a biggie. but
So you can have holes in
Somebody
invisible
might-
undergarments.
somebody might challenge. If somebody say, well, I can wear a sweatshirt, I don't have any holes in it, okay?
Yep, yep. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good working document. These things are important. They get put in place sometimes and they exist for years and don't get updated.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
so-
I'll ask Amanda the last time she may have reviewed this, it might be wise under the,
Yeah.
especially like the, just seeing number 7, the drug-free workplace, and there's been
Yes.
some
Yeah.
changes around different types of drugs and whatnot, and it might be worth maybe having her, if you'd like, having her to do a review before anything final,
Yeah, I think it'd be wise to,
make sure we're updating. I mean, there might be
Cover.
things that we're not
Have
thinking of
legal
updating
go-
that we need to, or where the laws.
Does the MMA put out a, like a policy like this that is this kind of standardized?
There's some model ones that they put out from other towns typically. I don't know how many. I can look and see what they have. They typically find examples that they think are good and just share them. So they don't, to my knowledge, they don't have like a model ordinance or model policy type thing. They
Okay.
just find good
Okay.
examples.
I'm gonna make that.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay.
But it'd be smart to have, have legal review it and
Mhm.
make sure we're not leaving anything out or opening up the town for anything. So absolutely. Sometimes just, wording and language changes with all
This
this.
is probably one of your more important policies.
It's an important policy. Yes, important policy. So,
Mhm.
yeah. We can get punctuation and stuff and things moved around, but the overall searching theme we need to look at. So, all right. Sounds good.
Yeah, good job, Andy.
So yeah, Andy, you've got some updates on MDOT, right? There's some more,
Yeah.
some more partnerships and yeah, more acronyms.
Yeah, so those black and white boxes that are painted around town, those are aerial survey marks. Anyone owning property along Business Route 1 from Church Street intersection back up to NC Hunt. If you're in a butter of that road, you've gotten a letter already. I think two
Okay.
now, actually.
Oh,
And just letting them know that state's doing some survey work. If anyone has any plans of their parcels that, surveys they'd share, that'd be great. And looking for other utilities and that kind of thing, just as they're trying to pull all this data together. My understanding from them is that that section of Business Route 1 is considered unbuilt. We know there's a built road there, but and there's standards, and it's similar. We've talked about it before with Bristol Road, it's considered unbuilt in terms of paved shoulders. And so I think largely it's about is there a legally defined right of way? Is it an assumed right of way? The fact that it changes in its width along that stretch, I think all of that comes into consideration for them when they're trying to build this road.
Yeah.
There's some drainage issues that they've got to address. The biggest one being this Castner Creek
Right.
crossing behind us here.
right.
So that's where they are. They're just doing the survey work this year. That's all they have the funding for right now. From that, they'll be able to come up with kind of a concept of what they want to do, get a price estimate, and then start working on getting it into a 3-year DOT work plan with a dollar value for funding. And then they can kind of start down that next stretch of additional design work and including the community. What they're proposing, when we talk with them about this to learn what they're looking at building out, we had asked, how does this come into play, or how will this impact our MPI, the multi-use buy lane from the school to Hannaford's, if we're
Right.
about to spend $1.6 million, for us, 20% of that on this, like, is this impact in well to find out. I don't know about that project, because within DOT, there's a lot of other
Yeah.
agencies within it, and so departments within it. And so the person in charge of this wasn't fully familiar with that. I said, how about the School Street intersection and the safety concerns that are raised with that?
Mhm.
Again, so clearly we needed to have the meeting. We had the meeting. Michael was in with us on that and talked about the PSACs, and the community's interest over the years to see something up over through kind of the canyon, above Rising Tide and up through Hilltop Stop there and through School Street. Mentioned the Hannaford's interest in seeing a light up in that part of the Business Route 1. The
Really?
way it's been developed through there with a lot of openings and entrances, we've talked about that. Is there a way through this project to kind of envision consolidating any of that to make better and safer traffic flow? And
So
so
about the island with the no left turn at school.
the
in
School
there?
Street intersection was part of our conversation and how that would play in. So I think when they started seeing all these other things and a lot of locally driven interests, they kind of threw out this idea of this PPI, the planning partnership, where there's funds, you know, they can do up to $150,000 for the planning work. We split the cost 50-50. Generally those roll into a partnership for construction at about the same 50-50 split. My biggest concern was the culvert. Ours down here on Church Street's about $1 million, and I didn't want the community to pay 50% of what's likely to be
50-50
double
on that
that.
Right,
And
right.
so it looks like that would be taken care of by the DOT out of its own, probably separate project or fund. And so with that, I feel more comfortable suggesting that we do this. This gives us a lot more say in kind of the design features there. If we don't do this, we can say, hey, we're interested in it, but it's not a shared project. And so they can, oh, okay, cool. And they might just continue to proceed as they need to. So I saw this as an opportunity for us to make sure we're getting out there what the community's been asking for through that whole stretch. Turn lanes potentially going through certain parts of this where they don't exist now. Maybe reorienting or rechanneling some of this drainage that we have. Talking with coastal rivers, they'd love to see some of that improve that comes out from Hammond and kind of comes out into their area there. I'm worried about everything kind of funneling down Church Street and making sure that whatever we're scaling and sizing on Church Street is appropriate to take all this extra stormwater. If that's the low spot, that's where it's all going.
Right.
Uh,
Right on that, yeah, intersection.
So yeah,
Sounds
this would
good.
give us that chance to partner with them. We do have, my suggestion would be to utilize the sidewalk reserve, to be able to commit these funds, where a large part of that's going to be about access for pedestrians and up through there. If you're comfortable with that. But what they're looking for now is kind of, are we willing to jump on with them in this PPI, signing contracts we would take care of at another date, but I can give them the green light if the board's interested to kind of go down that path and start the application with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, so many of these projects get started and they're not
Yeah.
coordinated well with state and federal agencies. I don't know.
So if we
You
can,
know, if you can
if
get
you
ahead of
can-
that,
exactly, and
yeah,
we get what we want.
yeah, it makes
Yeah, it's too
That
bad
would
we
be
didn't have that for
huge.
Bristol Road.
Yeah, I think with
Yeah.
Bristol Road, I think that's one of those ones we incorporate the traffic light and think about that. I'd love to find out when Main Street's on the work list for LCP because it's at a point now where it could use LCP, and if you wait too much longer, it's gonna need a bigger treatment probably,
right.
even if they don't afford it one. And so I think, looking at that, we incorporate their safety office in the intersection there, but start thinking about funding a share for that was separately.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Been a
Sorry,
while.
we're having a sidebar. We're trying to figure out how long it's been since Main
That-
Street
that
was.
we did Main Street.
It's been a long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just in terms of
Probably.
timing,
Mhm.
so the planning and for this
Mhm.
could take 3 years.
The planning of this is probably gonna be, didn't get the sense it would be 3 years. I mean, they're
The whole thing
they're-
is
they've
3
got
years.
surveying going on now.
Yeah,
So I get the sense that if we sign on to this, like we're talking about doing this over the winter, fall and winter,
Okay.
the planning work.
Mhm.
And then just let me get to the other story. When do they go out for bid and?
Well, so
It starts.
yeah, once they're able to kind of conceptualize the extent of the project,
Yeah.
that's when they'll put numbers to it, cost estimate that. And then they advocate to get it into a work plan. Right, because when the state looks at it, they do 3 years out.
Yeah,
So they're looking to add on, if they've got 25, 26, 27 right now, they'd be looking to add on what's gonna happen in 28.
okay, so this is
the
probably
follow-
the 28, 29, 30.
I mean, probably, yeah.
What
So
about
it's a little
the-
ways out.
This is not related exactly, but what did the Belvedere roundabout come up at all?
Just that if they stay on track, they're looking to put it out to bid this early winter. With the possibility of construction starting in the spring.
Really?
If they can turn bids and contracts around that quick, and if
Yeah.
someone can, that's kind of late to put a bid out, I think, from what I understand, to have someone start, that soon, but maybe it'll work.
See what happens.
Yeah.
because they did say it was gonna be in 2025, right?
Yeah, that was their
That's what they're.
expectation.
money is
There was
allocated for,
also-
yeah.
Also, the
Allocated.
um,
Yeah.
in the same year, in 2025, they were planning on putting out the MPI as well. That sidewalk project that from the school to Hannaford. So I've asked about, can that be delayed without losing the funding? It might be another one of these things if they delay it and we lose the funding for that, then what?
Yeah, exactly.
If the funding's in jeopardy, do we go forward with that as we've kind of committed and penned?
Yeah, do you move forward with the project separate from?
And then does this project kind of pay twice, essentially, pay again to redo what just got?
Right?
So I'm waiting.
That would not make sense.
Waiting for clarification on
Yeah.
that. So when they start these projects, they get to a certain point, it's kind of like funding's been committed, you have it, you've only got so much time to use it. You kind of are committed. So again, just kind of waiting to hear back from them on that.
Okay.
I'd hate to see us do all that and then see it.
And then have it torn up again?
Yeah.
then That would be awful.
Just in terms of just balled up traffic everywhere.
Mm.
Because you got Newcastle has a huge project that potentially in the works with the Village Partnership Initiative as well.
The planning phase right now, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I'm assuming that's in the 2025 to 27 work plan for them.
Just the planning part of it, probably the construction. I'm imagining. I mean, they're probably gonna. I mean, talking with Kevin and Michael, I think that they're probably another year with the planning work, or at least through the winter.
So these could be in the same cycle then.
I think there's gonna be a lot of construction in the next 10 years.
Okay.
Something that we've seen. Michael and Kevin, the manager of Newcastle, and Scott Abatoni and I got together yesterday briefly and are hoping to get together more on a quarterly basis, probably just to make sure that the three entities, the two towns and the sanitary district, are working around kind of a calendar or schedule, work capital calendar.
That's great.
Just
great.
because, anything that happens on Main Street, we've seen it now in the last since the fall and over the winter, like when the construction happens over at that intersection, it really impacts traffic on our side, and same thing.
Both sides of the
Same
bridge.
thing, right? If we've got it, they've got the problem. And so really trying to coordinate, and yeah, it's a lot, that's being planned.
Yeah.
And so I think, we want to kind of get that into a map, kind of color coded by year, probably to kind of start to visualize better when all this is happening.
Mhm.
In light of the parking lot project conversations that we're having now, it, just kind of brings forward even more the need to work with people early,
Yes.
and kind of share even if they're tentative plans, we don't know the exact year or months
Mhm.
they're going to happen, but just say like, here's what we think is going to, happening in, the near future.
Especially since we know they are in the planning phase.
Right.
That's the commitment's there to
Mhm.
do it. So
Right.
it's not talking,
Well, it makes sense to move
coordinate.
along with the BPI. You just need a head nod to keep.
Yeah, I think,
Yes.
if I can get the
See,
application I'll start working on the application.
yeah.
It could be as early as the next meeting. I could have that, back for you to officially kind of approve to submit.
Shouldn't it be subject to confirming what you asked them to confirm about not losing the funding for the sidewalks?
Yeah, I mean, that I need still.
But that's a
I
separate-
still think you might embark, 'cause they're still planning the Business Route 1 project. And I think the town might still want to have part in
Still
helping,
separate out if you had.
making
to.
sure our interests are considered in that and not just left.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
But yeah, I definitely want to understand, can we push the MPI another year or two and still have the funding available?
Well, with, from the state's point of view too, from NDOT's point of view, once they factor in, start looking at bigger picture and look at everything that might be in their best interest too, they might say, oh, okay, we didn't know that was happening, or,
Right.
yeah, so it's worth,
think that
definitely
that's
worth
enough.
looking into, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, the other big project in that, relative time frame coming up in the next 5 years is that Church Street and the trail project underneath Route 1.
Yes.
That we've been selected by both Representative Pingree and Senator King
Exactly.
for funding. We won't know until the budget passes and we're included in
Right.
that, but
That's really exciting.
So
Like a big
I think as
digger.
we start to see all these, and those aren't counting regular drainage and road paving projects that we have too around.
Maybe
town.
we should
So
leave town for 10 years.
But putting that all into a map to be able to share with the community of like
Yeah.
what we think
Yeah.
is happening when.
Yeah,
I think looking ahead.
that's-
that's
Well,
all.
having the,
That
yeah, right,
helps.
having the website up and,
Yeah.
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 Makes sense. So, all right. Well, I think you got a head nod from everybody
Yes.
to pursue this, get to the next steps. And
Absolutely.
we'll keep moving along. So, okay, great, great. Yeah, it's good to coordinate what we can. So, all right. Anything else? Snuck in, Andy? Are we good to proceed?
That's all I had.
Yeah, so we will, before we do have an executive session tonight. Before we move into that, does anybody have any other discussion items they want to bring to the attention of the
Just
town? the board?
congratulate Josh and his team for winning his championship.
Yes.
Some good luck in the next
Yeah.
divisional round.
Yes, you may see me on the 10th and you may not.
I'm just gonna thank him for showing up. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Josh,
Yeah, I can show up.
Josh has been absent for some meetings, but I assure you, he's active during the day and he
Yeah,
keeps
we
in touch
assigned
with the
him to,
town
coaching
staff
the
quite a
team.
bit. So,
Yeah.
okay. Dan, anything?
I'll just do comp plan update again.
Yeah, sure. So,
Unless,
Yep.
you want to do it.
It doesn't matter. We were both there. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, we had,
Fight over it.
we had I'll call it I don't call it a final meeting, but we had a
Well, it was
meeting
a
last,
final meeting.
sort of a wrap-up meeting last night for
With
the
Isabel.
community conversations at the
Mhm.
town meeting as well as the workshops that we had, and pretty much finalized any what I'll call substantive feedback and considered it and that, at least the content part of it is now done. And then there's going to be some edit work being
Got it.
done and formatting work, and with the goal of having that done by the end of July into August, and then targeting a planning board public hearing in September.
Okay.
So it has to be done 30 days before that, so people can do it. And
Yeah.
so it's rolling,
Yeah.
and then it'll come to this
Moving
group
along.
probably in October, I would guess, and then there's some sort of town meeting to vote on it as
Mhm.
well. So it's moving.
Yeah.
And so that was last night was an important meeting just to sort of say, okay, content is sort of nailed
Yeah.
down now in terms of
Good
goals,
nitty-gritty.
strategies, recommendations. So,
Yeah.
so it's good.
Yeah.
So
A lot of folks working
it's
on
happening.
that.
So,
Yep.
Wow. Cool.
And what did we decide? We decided that we will have a committee
well,
to
we're recommending
we're
a
recommending
comp plan implementation
committee.
committee. So
Yes.
just to sort of track it over the course of time, which I think seems very common in other communities as well.
To help Michael with it.
Yeah. And we are trying to limit the number of new committees that we're recommending, but there does seem to be if you can summarize the feedback from the community, which was limited in terms of those, but a bunch of them were around issues of climate and climate resiliency and the town's vulnerability to those sorts of things. And so there was a sense that perhaps maybe there could be like there's a PSAC committee in town that's probably a strong interest in forming some sort of climate
Gotcha.
related resiliency committee as well, just to sort of help the town work through those things over the course.
But it
Into the
would be.
future.
and
But that's
in-
just a
it would
recommendation,
be-
you know.
And it would be independent. It's
Yeah.
not related. Town has no. Doesn't,
At least that's the structure
Yeah.
that's envisioned.
Yeah, the comp plan's recommending
Yeah.
an advisory committee. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Andrew, you good? Anything?
oh, good.
We good?
No,
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks for the board, to the board for letting me kind of bolt for a month or two and coach my son's team and I appreciate you guys understanding, and I am behind the scenes communicating
As
and
Dexter-
informed.
He is active.
I am
Yeah.
active. So just to let you know, I still know what's going on. So
Well,
I thank you.
I think folks in town recognize that these positions that folks have, we have kids and lives and jobs and things like that. You do the best you can. So there's times when you have to do what you got to do. So that's all I got to say. I won't add anything else to it. So yeah, if there's no more board action or anything there, I'll move us into executive session just a second. So once I call that and we move it, whatever, and then we'll give everybody a minute to shut down the recordings and we'll clear the room and go from there. So, all right, I'll make a motion to move into executive session pursuant to MRSA 4056A for discussion of a personnel matter.
Second.
Second, Tom seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, all right.